Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another design team layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfiles, and I'm using the gorgeous watering can cut file. I absolutely love this one. It's so beautiful, perfect for garden layouts, and it comes with this little wide-brimmed hat as well, which is super cute. As soon as I saw this cut file, I knew that I wanted to use it for this particular picture. This is my son in our front yard, just hanging out. It was a warm summer day, and we were just doing some gardening and bits and pieces in the front yard. So he's wearing his dad's Bunnings hat. It's a big wide-brimmed straw hat, as you can see. So I thought this cut file with the hat was perfect. And I knew I had this paper in my stash. I'm pretty sure it's by Kaisercraft. It's just one of the ones that I had just sitting in my stash randomly, and the texture of it is perfect for a straw hat. So as soon as I saw the cut file, I knew that I had this paper, I had it in mind, so I pulled it out, and thankfully I could find it in amongst all my enormous paper collection, but I'm really happy with the effect in the end. So I'm just doing probably my most used technique for backing cut files, just putting a thin layer of glue around the edge of the cut file and then sticking it down, and then going in and cutting off all the excess. It's probably the easiest way to do backing a cut file if you have a simple shape like this one. It's very easy to fuzzy cut around the edge of this. There we go. And then I went ahead off camera and did all the watering can as well. So this collection that I'm using is the Sugar Bell collection by Rosie's Studio. You can get this from the Reject Shop in Australia. I'm pretty sure they still, some of the stores still have it, but you can order it online from Rosie's Studio anyway, wherever you are. So I have used those papers to back my watering can, and I'm also going to use that big sheet of 12 by 12 patterned paper in the soft green for my background paper, and I'm just going to back it on a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock because it's not the thickest paper, it's quite thin, and if you're going to use it for a background, I definitely recommend mounting it on some cardstock. So you can see I've just used a really ugly sort of mushy pea green sort of colour that I'm never going to use for a layout, so it came in a multi-pack of cardstock obviously, so I may as well use it and yeah, not throw it away. So just trim down my photo there. And I'm just playing around with placement of the photo. I know I kind of want my watering can tipping water out, and I have a really cool idea for this, as you'll see. So I have these little glass cabochons. They're just sort of little flat back half beads, and they're just clear glass, and they look really cool as water droplets. So that's the rough idea. So you can see my title, or part of my title down there is garden. That is just one I made myself on my silhouette. I typed in a font and made a cut file out of it, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turns out. You'll see in a little while it doesn't quite work out how I wanted, but it looks good in the end. So a little bit of mixed media in the background. I'm not going too crazy on this layout. I'm just using some Color Blast paste in Punch and this floral stencil from Kaisercraft. I really love this stencil, and yeah, I like this paste, but yeah, I got the wrong color. I wanted the blush color, I think it was. And when I grabbed them, they look almost identical in the tub from the outside, but when you actually put this on the page, it's definitely more of a warm, brighter pink. And I'm finding it kind of a little bit more difficult to use, but I still like it. So for my title, it's just white cardstock, so I'm trying to jazz it up a bit, and I'm going in with a pink pigment ink from Kaisercraft. I can't remember the name, sorry, of the color, but I wish I'd used a dye ink, like a distress ink, or if I had distress oxides, that probably would have been perfect, but this ends up drying a little bit lighter than I would have liked. I wanted it to be kind of a pink to white ombre, and by the time it dries, it's not very obvious, but oh well. Just building up my layers behind my photo now. I did a border of white, and then I'm coming in with some of the pink. And you can see a lot of these, the things to do with this collection are baking themed, which obviously doesn't apply to this layout, but there's also a lot of florals and pretty bits and pieces like that. So I've been getting a lot of use out of it, and I haven't done a single baking themed layout with it. So pretty happy about that. So just distressing the edges, popping up on some adhesive foam. Go. And I'm kind of going to nestle it in behind my watering can. So I'm going to have the watering can cover up most of the dirt and his red trike because the colour of that doesn't really go with this layout, but I want his feet to still show because he's barefoot and he's kind of got dirty little feet, and I just think that's, I don't know, it really sums up childhood for me. So here, this step was a bit pointless really, but I'm just taking some of my iridescent medium and going all over the top of those flowers. Like I said, the colour pink it's a little bit bright really for what I wanted, but it's the only one I have. So that iridescent medium just toned it down a little bit, and it does make things look metallic, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to take what's left and I'm just going to smush it through this stencil. It's another Kaisercraft one. I think it's called Snowy. It's meant to be snow, but I use it so much. It's just the most awesome random polka dot kind of pattern. Yeah, I just like that it's really random and not uniform. I really like that. So that's kind of it. By the time this layout is finished, you don't see that iridescent medium very well, but it gives a bit of an illusion of water coming out of the watering can there. So just going ahead and gluing down all my main pieces. Now I know they're not going to move, so I like to glue them down if I can before I start embellishing because I don't know, they just annoy me a little bit if they move around. So just a bit of wet glue behind all the foam. I popped up the hat and the title on foam as well. And I'm sort of going to, yeah, there you go, I'm covering up most of that trike. I'm just finessing it so you can see his little toes there. There we go. And I've laid that title over the top of the hat and the watering can. It's all sort of overlapping a little bit. It ties it all together really nicely, I think. And now I'm going through the ephemera pack and just pulling out the things I think I will use. And back to the title. I do tend to bounce around a bit, if you haven't noticed, when I'm doing my layouts. So I'm using these little gold stickers. They're, again, I think they're just from a cheap shop, but I really like the size of them, and they're a good plain font. It's easy to use. And I'm going to spell in the, I will come back and add another word after I've added summer. So these are thickers, American Crafts. I can't remember the name, but I thought they were cork. This is the first time I've used them. They're not cork. They're pretending to be cork. They are foam with cardstock over the top that is cork patterned. Go figure. So there you go. I've added my extra word. So at the moment my title is Summer Out in the Garden. I will add another word shortly. I guess that makes it a pretty long title for me anyway. And now I am going to embellish. So I like this flag. I don't really know why. Just on a whim, I guess. And I pop it up there and that's where it stays. I like the torn notebook edge on that ephemera piece. So I've just cut the rest off. I don't want to waste it. And I'll use that later. Half of that green doily. I tried to use the other half, but it doesn't make it. So that little tab at the top that says "Say Family," something. I really try to get this butterfly in. It looks okay now. I really struggle with these butterflies. They're half butterflies and they're meant to look like they're kind of perching, but they just look weird to me. I don't know. I just can't get them to work. I use that lovely, I think it says lovely day, something like that, little piece down in that little awkward corner. Love those navy blue flowers. They're really, really sweet. And yep, so I think they stay there too. I'm not sure if I moved them. There's a lot of florals in this collection, so I'm bringing in those sort of brighter lime green, almost lime green. They're more chartreuse, really, florals. His shirt in the photo you can see is quite a bright pale green, so I thought they match that quite nicely. I like that branch sticking out of the brim of the hat. I really like that. A couple of little floral gold foil pieces. Can never have too much gold. I have a bit of gold foiling in the paper that I've used to back the watering can and in a couple of the ephemera pieces as well. So this ties that all in. That little blue flower went in right at the top there, at the top of the watering can. My camera cut that out. And again, I'm just trimming off the white border on some of these florals because they don't all have it. So yeah, I just want it to be consistent. So I'm going to pop that in there, and now I'm going to start gluing some things down. I couldn't get that to stay. So just glued it down. Go. And I will not make you watch my whole gluing down process, I promise. And I'm adding this extra little green flower in the top there. And now to glue these beads down, I just use tacky glue. It's a white glue. It dries clear. You can't see it in the final layout at all. It's perfectly fine. And they're quite weighty, so you don't want to use anything that's weak adhesive. So these are the Dream in Colour title stickers. They're foam from Rosie Studio again, and I use the Delightful piece just because the colour went really. It matched the peach in that Lovely Day ephemera piece in some of the papers. So now I started my journaling. I started with a Sharpie and it bled really badly into the paper, so I have popped in that green heart sticker to cover that up. I was planning on using some of those anyway, so yeah, it worked out just fine. And then I've gone in with my Pilot G2 0.5 gel pen to do the rest of my journaling, and that worked just fine. And it just says about how in the summer, one of our favourite things to do is wait till the sun is starting to go down and the day is not so hot, because we live in a very hot climate, and we like to just hang out in the yard, and yeah, just a nice little bit of journaling. And then I am going to pop in some more of these little green hearts. So I go around and put in 5 in total, just in some of those gaps. There we go. They were just off eBay, by the way, if you're wondering, and they're puffy hearts. And then for a very last detail, I'm going to pop in some of this Dimensional Magic. It's kind of like, oh gosh, what's the other brand called? Glossy Accents, that's the one. I think it's kind of like Glossy Accents. I don't have that one, so I'm not 100% sure, but it comes out kind of dimensional and glossy, so you can see there in the close-ups especially. Thank you for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this layout. Don't forget to go check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. The link will be in the description box below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.